So I just finished my morning practice, and look who showed up behind me. My own little internal mini meltdown. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Does anybody else wake up with apparently this? It's from when you sleep on a pillow and it leaves a crease on your face. It seems the older you get, the longer it lasts. Oh, wow. I feel like I could still use a couple more hours of sleep. It was a long, long day yesterday, very busy. So today, I have a lot on my plate again. It's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. I'm hoping to spend some time with my dad a little bit later. I told him I wanted to get some watermelons at the market, so we might end up going to the market. But most likely he will come by, so Dad will be in the house. And then trying to make more flyers for the breath awareness workshop in August. And then, well, I have to get up and do my practice, of course. I wouldn't be able to get through my days if it wasn't for my practice. Just like brushing your teeth, you gotta flush your mind, clean out the garbage. So the other thing I have to do today, that's on my schedule, it's like teach at 4 o'clock. So every Sunday at 4 o'clock I have a class at Yoga Village. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. My dad's going to come over and we're going to go over to Nature's Food Patch. They're doing a massage for all the dads. First thing in the morning, what I do, I use something called alum powder, and I put it just a smidgen on the back of, I just put it on my toothbrush, just a smidgen, like a little dab, and I mean a little dab, and I brush along my gums, and then I gag, cleaning out the monkey glands. What you do is you go to the back of your throat, specifically to scrape and clean out all the phlegm. And what this does is it creates your tear ducts to water, because when you gag, as you know, you start to water in your eyes, and that's part of the process, because it clears out all the gunk from the night before of sleeping, and you're cleaning out all the phlegm. You should get at least 3 phlegm globules that come up. It'll come on your toothbrush. I like to tap out anything so it doesn't get all stuck up in my bristles, like food or anything. I always clean out the bristles of my toothbrush. So that's just a little bit of my morning routine. So I just finished my morning practice, and look who showed up behind me. Happy Father's Day, Dad!
Thank you!
So I'm in the car right now with my dad. It's Father's Day, time to spend time with Dad. Say hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad.
Where are we heading?
To the farmer's market.
What? So what are we gonna get?
Hopefully some watermelons that are cheap.
Do we have a favorite stand?
No. We'll see. Just shop around. Somebody will have a good price.
Do you have any words of wisdom to share?
Enjoy the day.
So here we are, we're at Mustang Flea Market, Food Market, Market. Say hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad.
We have here a cart, and we're gonna go.
Here.
I'm gonna pull it.
Say thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad. We're gonna head first for what? You want to do cane juice or watermelon?
Come on, let's just get in there and get this over with.
Exactly, because it's hot outside, right?
Somebody's calling me.
Oh, they're, you know what, the green,
They're the green mangoes.
They're baby green
Have you,
mangoes.
they're very, apparently people like to eat them like that.
Wow, that's the first time I've seen a durian in person. How much is the durian? $9 a pound?
Here, the 53
For just that one piece. Wow. And then what do you have? Mangosteen? $16 a pound? And you have the golden pitaya. How much is the golden pitaya? The golden pitaya?
The yellow, $5 pound.
Wow. I've never had the golden yet. And how much the red? Or is same? Thank you very much. Yes, please. So I'm getting my cane juice, and these beautiful people that hold the cane juice and also all this beautiful produce and vegetables always hook us up. Look at this gorgeous bounty. The lychees are in season. We got hot peppers over here. She just gave me a sample of this beautiful, beautiful. Look at this pitaya, the dragon fruit. I love, love, love this. Thank you so much for your patience with me filming you. I appreciate
And
it.
then they see the lychee.
Yeah, the lychee.
Yeah.
How long have you had this stand here? How many years?
This?
Yeah, how long have you been coming to this market?
More than since 2005, 2006, between that.
Wow, that's amazing.
A long time.
Can you tell everyone your names again, because I don't know, the last video didn't capture it.
Yes, my name is Shayne. C-H-E-N-N-G, Shayne.
Chang is awesome. I love his hat.
Thank you so much.
And you like mine?
Yours is gorgeous. You are always a shining beauty.
Yeah.
And this is Mao, right?
Yes, Amara.
She is the queen of cane juice. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Look at this. Here we are. 3 watermelons, 1 cantaloupe, and 12 avocados. All at the market. Ever have one of those days? One of those days when you're like, you know what? I honestly am having one of those days. It's Father's Day, and I spent some time with my dad, and I admit I've got a little agitation. I'm dealing with Buddy. I'm dealing with behavioral issues, and I'm dealing with my own inner needs not being met. So I'm actually having my own little mini meltdown, and feeling also like no matter what I do, I don't feel appreciated a lot of times. That I get the verbal accolades, but the actual action sometimes is what I feel says more. And so I had a little bit of a blow up at my dad earlier today. And it was because of old patterns in our family. And it's not just my dad, it's other people too. It's the reality of seeing all the shit that's going wrong or complaining about one little insignificant thing. I can't deal with everybody else's complaints to the point where I got to listen to the story, replay. You know, and as much as I try to be as positive and uplifting for other people, there's a point where I need that also in return. I need someone who's going to hold that space for me too. I need someone who's going to turn around and say, you know what, I really appreciate all that you're going through. No, really, let me listen. How are you doing? I distinctly care enough to sit and listen to you. Tell me how you're feeling in this moment. Are you okay? And this is why it's so important for women that we have other women to speak to, that we commune, that we have our goddesses, that we have people we know we love and trust and take time. You know, if other people don't like it, that's poo on them. I'm sorry, but the reality is if you're not making time for yourself, only you can take care of you. And if other people have animosity or, you know, feeling like they're neglected, well, maybe it's because they're neglecting you too. And the reality is it's a two-way street, not a one-way street. I'm just spewing out stuff right now because I was really ticked off. I got to a point where I was like, you know, Dad, you wonder why Lori's always upset. Well, my sister, she does a lot, and a lot of it's because she does. It's her stuff. I'm not going to talk about her stuff, but the reality is that we tend to play into that, look at all that I'm doing, nobody appreciates me. And it's an old pattern my mom had. But there are also boundaries to where, yes, you can do because you want to, because you want others to feel loved. But, you know, there has to be reciprocity. If you're not receiving it, then that's something that needs to be communicated. But then the question is the other person willing to listen? Is the other person willing to want to hear what you have to say? How engaged are the people in your life? Do they truly care enough to want to know? Or are they just wanting to avoid any type of altercation, confrontation, or honesty? Because that's the dialogue, you know, people talk, but walking the walk is harder. And I'm telling you right now, that's a daily thing for me sometimes. What I do on a daily basis, people think it's so easy. I've had so much, oh, it's easy for you to say, oh, you know, everything's easy for you. Like, you know what? I don't talk about my stuff all the time. I don't talk about the fact that there are nights when I could really just use someone to hold me and just hug me and really want to listen to what I have to say at the end of the day, or what's really going on with me. You know what? This is just how it is. And we have to be good for ourselves. Nobody else can be good for us. You can't just do for everybody else or what other people expect of you or want you to do and neglect yourself, because eventually it becomes a full-blown out explosion. And I guess I'm kind of feeling that way. Kind of one of those moments where you go, you know, clearly it's not enough. And if I keep on doing it, I'm going to be expected to do so much more, because as it stands, I make it look easy. You know, I do show up for yoga because it feeds my soul, my heart. But that's the thing. Because I'm not doing it for myself. I'm not. And I am human, and I have needs. And there are a lot of times my needs aren't being met. And I'm needing someone else or something else to fulfill that. And so if I'm not allowed to get my time in for me, that just means others will suffer. This is the true reality of life. All of us. I'm not the only one. Life is not about doing for everybody else unless your cup runneth over. So you have to create healthy boundaries. You have to create a healthy routine and a lifestyle. It's not just nose to the grindstone and then just, okay, I'm going to relax, I'm going to take a day off and just be totally dead. No, it can't be from one extreme to the other. That's called burnout. That's what happens to our adrenals being overtaxed. That's where our nervous systems are all messed up. It has to be about balance. And so I'm struggling constantly with the balance in my life. And a lot of times the people who don't have balance and healthy boundaries in my life and try to overstep mine. So yeah, I had a little bit of a blow up today with my dad, and as much as I love him, sometimes it needs to be said. And that could be for any one of us. We need to speak up, because if we're being torn down, and I'll be honest, I've been feeling like it's easier to tear me down no matter how much I do, because that's the kind of response I've been getting around me sometimes. And so, no, I'm here to uplift. That's what it's about. And there's a point where I also need it in return. I need to be uplifted and not torn down. So I'm doing the best I can. And I hope you are too. And now I need to show up for me.
I don't care anymore about things I used to know.
So I'm going to share that earlier I was having my own little internal mini meltdown, and it's when I show up and I serve that puts everything back into place. It's my personal practice in the morning that holds me in a sacred space. I had 9 people in class tonight and met some beautiful souls, some new people, a lot of new faces that I had never seen joined me, and that was really amazing, and just had some beautiful conversations after class. But earlier was a little tougher for me, and so again, if you ever find yourself in a situation where you're upset and your mind is just really just ready to scream, I'm going to tell you, there's a beautiful meditation. You need to go on our YouTube channel and you need to pull it up. It is for emotional balance, and it's huge. It's very powerful. And that's what I did for the class today, is we did that after we did a Kriya for building immune resistance. Because when we become emotional, we become irrational, which is why people act out. When we're not listening and tending to our needs, it comes out. People will feel it because you're feeling it. You can't just hold it back. When you hold stuff back, trust me, you're also drawing more of that stuff to you through others. And eventually, if you're not careful and you don't reset yourself and allow yourself to feel it fully and sit with it and confront it, and when I say confront it, I mean like sit with it and go, is this real? Because the thoughts aren't real. They seem like they are. These ideas, these stories. Quite often I know that, I can sit with my mind and it'll just go off on a tangent and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and it's like freaking out. All it's doing is keeping me back from progressing, and it doesn't mean that the story isn't something to reflect upon, but what it really is a moment and an opportunity to say, why am I here? What is this really about? If your mind goes into stories, you have to question, what is this really about? And so a big thing for me today was just, I got upset earlier. I got a little upset with my dad, and it wasn't just about him. And it mostly had to do with the fact that I sometimes feel my needs aren't being met. Or that maybe my needs aren't taken into consideration when I'm taking care of others. And I need just as much support. And I need touch. There's a lot of things I need. And I don't expect it, but it would really help. And so this is why I try to emphasize how important it is for women to always have your goddess gatherings, your group of women of support, because you may not get that anywhere else, but you have to have people you love and love you, will uplift you, because that's what we all need. And especially right now in this time, if you feel you're being overwhelmed, because I know I do a lot, and I know I've had people look at me and think it's just nothing and it's easy.
It isn't as easy as it looks. I'm just going to tell you right now, flat out. I sometimes lie in bed and I am just so exhausted and I just want to sleep and I continue with something I shouldn't. That's not meeting my needs and I need more sleep and I know that. And of course, I'm the only one to blame. But sometimes I'm also trying to live up to someone else's expectations, or if someone makes a request to me, I do my best to fulfill it. But every once in a while, I need to know when it's okay to say no, and the other person also respect that a no does not mean it's a rejection. It just means I have to exercise healthy boundaries. Because otherwise, how can you take care of someone else if you're not taking care of yourself? Life has to have balance. And if all we do is give, and we don't allow ourselves to receive or recharge, then all we're doing is a disservice to ourselves and others. And so, yeah, I hope you are all having an amazing day. It's Sunday, obviously, but you'll see this tomorrow. I love you. And yeah, be well. Be good with you. You be you, you do you. Not everybody's going to understand, and sometimes there has to be that pause where you go, they're not going to be happy, but this is what I need to do for myself. But always remember, never take personal when someone has to take care of themselves. Remember to discern between the need and the greed. So, at the end of the day, I always come back to this realization. Showing up, it's all about you showing up and how you show up. Because who else can do you but you? And so for today, no matter what was going through my monkey mind, no matter what I was reflecting upon, regurgitating the inner dialogue, I truly recognize and realize, because this is huge, whenever something big is shifting in my life, and the energies are heavy for a lot of people. I know I'm not the only one going through this. I see it everywhere. When the energies are heavy like this, when things are happening, it means big changes are on the horizon. We're just feeling it on an energetic level. And the mind goes out of its way to create stories and try to fall back into old comfort zones because it's familiar and assumes that old story of, well, it's always worked. It's always been this way. So at least I know that'll be a certain way. So that unknown, having to step into something it doesn't recognize, it just wants to fight or flight, right? So it either wants to put up its dukes and say, I'm not taking this crap, which isn't always the healthy way, or let's run, because it's not going to follow us or anything. It always does. So we feel things long before we actually have the experience. So the fears that come up, the emotions that pop up, are all a reflection of something big coming in. And on top of that, I go back to always check yourself. No matter what is going on in your mind, calm yourself, claim yourself, get on your mat, meditate, whatever it is that you use as a form of meditation. For you, it could be taking a walk. Maybe it's washing the dishes. Everybody can do meditation. It's single-minded focus. Breathing is the best form of meditation. Mindfully breathing, watching that breath, being completely present in the moment. Your mind cannot actually multitask when you are fully present in the moment, which means the story shouldn't be popping in unless you're being taken out of the present moment. So showing up no matter what's happening, as long as you stay consistent, you breathe into it and recognize, and this too shall pass. Because everything always smooths out, evens out. Yes, we need healthy boundaries, but in the end, you're the only one who can establish them, and only you're responsible for them. You can't blame anyone else. You can't try to point fingers. This is about you. And so I have to remind myself that no matter what I'm going through up in this mind, and I have a mini meltdown on my mat or in my mind and I deal with it, I know that if I continue to show up, I'm growing, others are seeing it, that I'm giving permission. I'm as Yogi Bhajan said, being the lighthouse as best as I can, keeping myself bright, keeping my vibration high, radiating out the love that I feel is what will uplift others. If I drop down into a lower vibration and get upset and throw a temper tantrum, that's not serving anyone. It's certainly not going to serve myself. And so again, we always come back to the story of if there's a lifeboat and there's a sinking ship, who will serve better? The people on the lifeboat, will they jump in with the sinking ship? Or will they uplift and pull those others out of that sinking ship? You can't drop down just to make others feel better. You have to maintain the buoyancy, the balance. Stay on your lifeboat. Do what it takes to stay in your personal power, calm as much as possible. We're going to have some stuff, but breathe into it. See the truth. Be the lighthouse. Tune in for tomorrow's episode 19. Feel it to heal it, baby. You got this. If I can show up, you can show up.